Wow. Professional streamer Josh Foreman here, clicking the in stream button instead of the turning off the starting splash screen. Super pro Josh Foreman. Only been doing this like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years? It's not enough time to learn which button ends the stream. Hello everyone, here, and thank you for being either quick on your feet or good thing we have a nice system for handling stupid mistakes. Either way, here's what I'm working on today. This Colossus area, and I've got great news. I was able to get it on my PlayStation 5 and get some great screenshots. So the PlayStation 5 version of this game has a photo mode. Hooray! It does not let you decouple your camera completely from your character. Boo. However, it does let you like do all sorts of like tilt the camera and like change the FOV and stuff. So I was able to gather a lot better information on my ruins than I had previously. So that's really exciting. One thing that I learned is that there's a sort of big gate looking thing and it's shrouded in mist at all times. I wish I could have got rid of that. So I'm just gonna have to peer through the fog to make out what I'm trying to do there. And then this had like a really crazy fisheye lens, so it makes everything look out of proportion. But essentially there's a bottom layer. So 1, 2, 3 floors, not counting the bottom part. And then up here is this sort of big fancy gate thing. Look at that dramatic jump off of the Colossus backbone there. Thought that was a cool shot. But more importantly, it gets me a full scene of what the background looks like there. Sort of the proportions, like this is carved into the natural rock, right? So here's a really good shot of that natural rock, and you expect that the face of it continued on there, but they just carved this whole thing back into the cliff. And that's what we're working on today. Specifically that top part, although I've got some other things I need to work on these front-facing sort of facade sculpture things as well. So, look at this beautiful pile of foam I have. But more importantly, there's a couple of things that I have to sort of sort out. These are my cutouts for the floors. So we got our first floor, our second floor, and then our third floor, which is gonna have the whole temple thing on it. The third floor is much thicker than the first two, and it's got like this different design on it. In fact, it is the same texture that they use on these pillars. So since I sculpted this already, I took that texture stamp and let's see how it turned out. The stamp itself is 1/3 of a cylinder, so it's sort of squashed down in order to give it a flat presentation, but we'll see how this worked. All right, not bad. Yeah, I think I'd work with that. So for this top shelf, it looks like the stack of 2 is going to work pretty perfectly. And I'm going to need what, like each of these is about, it's about 2 inches. Yeah, so we've got, okay, we've got 24 inches, so we're gonna need 12 of these. So hopefully what I can do is just like, because this stuff takes several hours to set, I'm just gonna have to do a mold 1 or 2 a day and work from there. Theoretically, I could use this to stamp onto clay multiple times in one setting. However, I've found it impossible to not have it tear up while the stuff is still setting. This particular stuff. There may be other stuff. Hey, Andies. Okay, and then the other sort of big picture thing I've got to figure out is the proportion. So before I start building this gate up here, which I hope to get some good progress on today, I need to figure out exactly how big is that gate that just looks like a blur to you because it's in fog and at a distance. Trust me, it's there. So to that end, I discovered this cardboard tube. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It was laying on a shelf, and I asked, hey, can I have this cardboard tube that clearly like something was on? I don't know if it was fabric or something or another. And it took them like 15 minutes to call enough managers to approve that I can have this discarded cardboard tube. It was amazing demonstration of efficiency. You'd think for a company that steals priceless artifacts from the Middle East, they would have no problem with just like taking stuff willy-nilly, but you know, different methods of taking. All right, I'm trying to see if there's a. I don't have a pillar that has a nice clean. Ow! Good job. Wow, I made it, what, 5 minutes in? Is that where we're at? 6 minutes, almost 7 minutes before bleeding. Congratulations to me. This is the first time I've actually had to look for a Band-Aid in my new studio. And I put them somewhere where it was like, oh yeah, I'll remember this. And I don't remember this. Okay, one moment, I do know where I have some in my bathroom. That was deeper than I expected. I may have to double bandage it. We'll see. All right, so what was I doing here? I was going away from myself, as you're supposed to do, but I guess this finger was up too high bracing, or it like went down. I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong there. It might have been there and back? Someone play back the footage. Tell me what I did wrong. I'm just kidding. Don't play back the footage. So with that, I can now add boink like that. Each different level has 3 different pillar styles. The first one is just this. Okay. Let's start stacking these up and see how high they end up taking me. So we've got one that is this. Boop. Oh man, this is gonna be a stupid Jenga tower, or I could be smart and just like put it down horizontally. I already chose the path of violence for the first step. Let's see if I can choose peace for this second. Indavi, see what happens when you wish me a good day? Do I ever use paint for art? No, I've never used paint for art. this for floor number 2. It has a little bit of a like topper ring like that. Then, and I don't have more of these cut, so I'm just going to have to pretend. Where are you going? Please do not roll. Okay, so that one goes there, and then got another short ring and short. Why do I not see another short pillar? Do I really not have another short pillar? Maybe not. Huh. Weird. So this. I'm not worried about super precision here. I just kind of want to get it more or less in place. So what we've got so far is hey, listen to your body. There's so many songs about listening to your body. Just listen to all those songs. Okay. So let's say floor. I guess I'm going to go with floor 2 because technically floor 1 is going to be a slightly elevated with stairs platform. Okay, now we've got floor 3. Floor 4. Okay, so that leaves this amount of room, which is about 1 foot. Okay, that's less than I was expecting. So I may need to play with the proportions of the box this is in, or I can kind of shorten what I'm doing with the pillars. I mean, in general, I want this flow of like short, medium, tall for the pillars that are separating these floors. I think this is probably the best overall representation of the proportion. Well, no, it's not really the best because again, it's a fisheye lens, so it's making this look way bigger than it is when you're at the ground looking up. I guess what I need to know is that I'm allowed to play with these proportions as much as I want. The important thing is that there's a little bit of natural stone between the top of the gate. Wow, that's so hard to see. Between the top of the gate and the like big inset framing thing. So I will play with the proportions that look best. Oh yeah, and that reminds me, I also had, where to go? Here it is. My first cast, this is what I was working on last week, I believe. Was this facade thing that goes on the edges. Made a mold and cast it. Let's see how that worked out. It's very thin there. You know what? Let's put on gloves. So you never know, there might be some material incompatibility or it didn't completely set or something, and there could be sticky goop. And I really don't want to be washing sticky goop off of my hand and with a wounded finger on top of it all. That's so fun. All your body cells are happy. Oh, that sounds like a good song. I just posted a comic about all my body cells being sad and miserable because they're being forced to eat nothing but pizza while I sit around playing video games too much. There's like a brain cell that's bossing them all around from on high. It's like the brain has decided that pizza is healthy because it has a vegetable. Okay. Oh, that turned out pretty good. It's not super duper flexible, but I think it's flexible enough. They're taller than I wanted, but not frightfully so. Yeah, I think that's got just enough that if I glue it down really solid, it'll stay pretty well. And since these are 6 inches, I should need 4 of them. Actually 6, because they do wrap around the side, right? Check. Well, right, I mean, I'm pretty sure the brain was deceiving itself about the status of tomato. Yeah, okay, so these do wrap around the side. So I'm gonna need 6 per floor for the first 2 floors, so 12 of these altogether. Convenient. I also need 12 of these things, so we're gonna have at least a week of just casting these things, 1 or 2 a day. Well, we're gonna need to average 2 a day, I think. Which seems doable. In fact, while we're here, why don't we go ahead and do one real quick. Well, we might only need 11 because I could use this for one of the side pieces. Yeah. That'll be fine. So first things first, we need a little bit of cancer powder. Yeah, just fast forward the stream and all of this will be done. I do think now that I've got most of the like intricate sculpting stuff done, the rest of this project is gonna come together pretty quickly. At least I like to tell myself that, you know. So this talcum powder makes it so that, well, it does 2 things. Mostly what it does is it helps to wick the resin into all the little details, because being super fine particles, they create very tiny capillary action, so that if there was a bubble that was like wanting to hang out there, the fact that that dust is in there, it's going to like suck the resin into there, which pushes the bubble just enough away from the surface that it doesn't end up on the surface. Generally. And I also want to try this with a larger rubber band, because these little rubber bands were causing me a huge headache yesterday. It's quite possible the large rubber bands are just going to be worse, but we're going to find out. Oh man, this rubber band has been rubber banded. How does that feel? Oh wait a minute. This rubber band's several feet long. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. I thought this was a pack of like 30, but it's just 3. Super duper long ones. I'm sure that'll be useful for something. I don't know what though. I guess very large molds. Here's a thought. What if I put the rubber band on first? And then slide these into place. That might make it easier. Last time I was trying to hold all 4 together while simultaneously getting the rubber band around the edges, and it kept popping either up or down. It was very frustrating. And that finger stab hurts. That's what kept happening. Kept zipping under. Okay. That's good. Basically, I made these walls needlessly thin, so if I just poured the resin in there, they would kind of bow out. Into here, yes. So I like to have a little backup thing to put resin in case I pour too much. Trying to find a trash cup cut the bottom off of, because I was using that to make these guys. So you've got that cast, but I used the bottom of a cup to like push it in to use as little as possible, and also just provide a nice regular backing so that I can cut holes in foam or whatever like that, and then just socket those in. If I need to, I'll cut the bottom off a cup. But last night I did a pour, and it was almost exactly like 1 cup of these. So I managed to do a half cup of each part in each of these. It should be good. You have a scar on your index finger too, on the other side? Yeah, it could be like ET twins. You ever seen the movie E.T.? It's got a glowing red fingertip. Let's see how it goes. One, two. One, two. Yeah, it's the third little ridge. Let's mix in just a little bit of darkness, my old friend. One drop of darkness will do ya. The darkness is just convenient that I don't have to do a black base coat, or I don't have to like spend the time to jab the brush in every little nook and cranny because it's already black in there. It's like one drop of this pigment saves me, I don't know, a teaspoon of regular paint and a minute or two of jabbing. So in general, you kind of want to pour in one spot in the corner and let the resin find the lowest spots on its own. That's how you minimize the number of bubbles you end up with. For whatever reason, this particular, I don't know if it's the board that it's sitting on or like is warped, or when I cast the mold, it was on a not even surface, but it does not want to fill evenly. I have to kind of manually mess with it until it's even. Well, I definitely found the perfect amount to fill this particular mold. That's amazing. I was like 98% there on the first one, 100% on the second. It's a new world record for me. I'd like to pause to acknowledge my brilliance. Thank you very much. And then we gotta do another mush mush on this. Moshi moshi. I had aluminum foil. I had another sheet of it, but I probably threw it away in my quick clean today. Is the stream muted? Yes. Did you ask a question before asking if it's muted? If so, I may have missed it. You and Indivies have the same name, or the same name color on my end. Always an unfortunate situation. Oh, I see. Indivies actually highlighted the question. See this thread. Are poured resin pieces like you're doing pretty sturdy for tabletop use, or would you recommend them for display diorama? Poured resin is one of the strongest substances that you'll ever have on a gaming table. It is sort of the gold standard, I would say. I mean, aside from, I don't know, steel or metal pieces, but even like, you know, most metal that you're gonna have on a table is gonna be pewter, and that's softer and more fragile than resin. Depending on the resin, okay. There are a million kinds of resins. Most of the smooth cast line are gonna be far more robust than anything else you're playing with. Yeah, the downside to it is the expense and time it takes to actually do casts, right? Because you have to get mold material, you have to mold the thing, well, you have to make the thing first, or buy the thing, then you're molding it. That's a long time and complicated process. Then you're casting it. So yeah, it really depends on what you're trying to do and how important it is to be tough. One thing I'm working on is a product line that I want to release that is essentially texture tiles in resin that are flexible enough that you can bend them around things. So you could, for instance, take a any cylindrical object, you know, and take this sheet of texture and wrap it around, and you've got like a castle turret, or you know, that sort of thing. Few wall segments for Castletown. You want to make silicone molds and then pour in resin. Yep. Yeah, the greens of your names are like 2% different on my screen. Really have to strain. This is also another very strong substance if you're making wargaming stuff, tiles and stuff. If you want to fill seams and stuff, it's a lot like green stuff, but even stronger. And this stuff I'm using here, this is Freeform Air, which is weaker, but super light and very easy to carve. So this would be more akin to the strength and durability of plaster, which a lot of people use on their wargaming tables. A lot of like rock elements, cliffs and stuff like that are done in plaster. Yeah, if I had to rate the strength of things, it would be like, you know, XPS foam is one of the weakest, but also one of the easiest to work with. Then would be like plaster, then probably this stuff, and more or less equivalent. It depends. So for added strength and flexibility, I'm adding a little bit of epoxy sculpt to it. These are both epoxy-based clays, and you can mix their properties, which is very nice. What was the white tape I put around the package? That was duct tape, just white duct tape. Why was it, did it cause struggles? feels like that should go. Should have flipped that around the other way. Not terribly worried, because this is ruins and there's going to be bits that are sort of falling off of it anyway, so no biggie. What I'll do is I'll sandwich this now in here, and then put my weight on it, and I'll flatten it down. And now I'm wondering why I used the bottom of cups on here. Why did I do that? Was it to get like a really even pressure across it, maybe? Yeah, seems fine. Okay, now we can get back to our gate design. That's a really great rock texture. No wonder I printed it. I think I was, I don't know if I was thinking it at the time, but it definitely feels like a good reference for the rocks that are in the game. Always good to go back to an original reference point. You know, I'm very unlikely that the artists making that rock prop were directly referencing that exact image, but if you find something that looks like it, but it is also from real life, it's great to have that on hand. Okay, so we have 12 inches to work with from here up. Camera thingy has been having issues lately. I'm not sure why. Is it better now? Better enough. Okay. Is this 12 inches? Actually, I don't need it to be 12 inches. I need it to be 12 inches minus whatever we're doing on top. And I feel like 4 inches is probably good proportionately, which would leave 8 inches if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna say from here to there is gonna be 8. And then from there to there, it's going to be 4. Okay, so whatever this gate shape is, we want it, it's probably going to go up, I don't know, about 6 inches, and then 2 inches to complete its little arc. And then the other element we have, I wonder, actually, oh, yeah, these pillars right here. So from here to here, if that's 8 inches, this would be like, I don't know, maybe 5-ish. I would like to make it 6. Let's see if we can get away with 6. That's not quite proportional, but we'll roll with it and see what happens. If not, we may have to lower that to 5 inches. Yeah, okay. Seems like a good plan. Let's grab the other. So if I were to sketch this out, it would be something like let's see, this back thing is how wide? Looks like it's more than 12 inches. 12 plus 3, 12, 13, 14, 15 inches wide. Okay. So we got a flat piece that is 15 inches, and then sort of on the edges. Comes in like so. So this is the part that would be 6. Sort of a roughly a, you know, little arc. Door, something like this. And a smaller inset door like so. Got our 4 kind of thin pillars. Yeah, I really think this needs to be 5. It's not right at 6. Cool. And from a top view, we've got a bit of a curve here because we're going from like here to here. And the back we're saying is completely flat. But these little triangle parts sort of follow the arc, the outer arc part. Pillars like that. And then our inner door kind of poke out a little bit. Okay. How wide is this then? This would be, if this whole thing is 15, and we divided this into 3 sections of 5, then we could say this is 5, 5, 5. Obviously not drawn to proportion, but you can imagine. That keeps it nice and easily divisible, more or less. So then we know that the gate is going to be 5 inches wide, so 2.5 inches will be in the middle. These side things will be like maybe 4 inches. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I love summer evenings. Well, summer evenings that actually cool down. Well, I like them to be warm, but not hot. Please not hot. Unless there's a really strong breeze or wind, and then that's like a different energy, which I enjoy, but it's not the relaxing kind, you know. Okay, so the other thing that tells me is that I don't. Well, trying to think. No, I don't need to build a backdrop. The back wall itself is in the I already have that part built. So essentially, I'm making 3 elements. Yeah. So a 5 by 8 tall arch. That's where we're gonna start. Does this have 5 by 8 in it? Probably. Does this have 8? I think this is not quite 8 inches tall. Let's see. Oh, this is exactly 8 inches tall. Good fortune hath smiled upon us. Okay, so we're gonna go 2.5 inches. Okay. Yeah, exactly. We had that a little bit last night, and it started raining today. Which broke a pretty long, dry, hot spell that we had here in the Pacific Northwest. Okay, 2.5 is here. Alright, so one thing I'm trying to decide is if I want to cut this into strips and 2.5 inch strips and then cut the arc. That's probably the best way to do it. That's how it's easier to make sure that it's going to be symmetrical that way. And so we were saying we want to start the arc about that. So probably 5 inches up. I'm thinking actually I want this to be the top. Yeah. So we wanted to start bending there to end here. Let's see if I have an oval template. I don't know that I do. I don't think I do. Okay, going freehand. I like to orient the surface so that it naturally follows the curve of my arm. Then plant my elbow. And then, maybe I don't want to plant my elbow. This one's kind of smallish. Let's look at reference 2 whilst we do it. This is probably the best reference that I have. Yeah, I mean, more or less, it's pretty much an echo of this, right? And I freehanded that one, so I think I can do this one. I messed it up. That's okay. I get to choose which line we follow for the cut, right? And I'm having a hard time pushing it out far enough. Okay. That'll work. So just follow the outermost line there. Then the inner one is just an echo of that. What should we do? Half an inch? Let's see what half an inch looks like. Let's stop using a big clumsy. I have a clear one somewhere. There it is. So hard to grab things with Band-Aid finger. Half an inch feels right. There's going to be a little bit of an optical illusion on this part because I have all these extra lines in there, so I'm just doing plotting a bunch of little points, and I'll just connect the dots. Okay, one arch figured out. The second one looks like, I don't know, comes to about there. And this feels more like there's a big flat area inside the arch and then an inset from there more than there's like an extra little ridge. But if I do make a little extra ridge, that will help me establish it on the back wall. So I might as well, yeah, actually, I'll just leave it like that. Full bandage around the finger, that would be a bummer. Is that what you have or what you had? Something changed about the ball joint on my camera. Is not having good times right now. Okay, so first things first, we want to do a 5-inch cut. And because this was sensibly done in metric, I had to go in and manually add ridiculous imperial units to it for my dumb American brain. that cut was not completely flat. That's a bummer. I should have checked that first. Yeah, that was a hand-done cut. We'll try it. I think if I just stack it there, that shouldn't. That'll be close enough. We'll see. Let's do 2.5. Now, I can use some toothpicks, stick it together. Here we can do a 1/2 inch, very straight cut. foundation to build off of. And then, let's see. Just go that way. So, to do the little decorative edging, it looks like it's not just like a series of lines going up. There's like some inner layers as well. So that's a perfect opportunity to use. Where are my thinner sheet things? Here. Yes. So I cut a bunch of thin little strips of XPS foam. But before I apply those, again, since this is carved out, it's not going to be a series of stacked bricks. That's why this aesthetic is different here than in the rest of it, because it was carved straight into a clip. It does have some like square brick little like, I mean, you can see the little squares in there, right? I don't know how I feel about that. I think I just kind of have to go with it. Like 90% of this makes sense as something that was carved out of a cliff face, and that 10% of tile doesn't. However, it's not like they did not use tiles in carved architecture. It's just unnecessary. And so they usually didn't, because that's one of the distinguishing things that makes your place look awesome. Oh, you know what I need? Give me one. No. I'll just use these. The reference is from the game The Shadow of the Colossus, one of my favorite games. I built a 4-foot tall Colossus, and now I'm building the arena that he's going to live in for his photo shoot. You get a sense of the scale. There's a person, and that is the Colossus's backbone, more or less. That's his fuzzy head. Hard to see. The pictures above me eventually will cycle through to some shots of the Colossus. There he is. Look at my beautiful big boy. Use a more aggressive sandpaper on this. Yeah, I think one of the things that I really like about the Colossus is specifically that he's like a combination of character and terrain. Because like his armor is essentially Gothic cathedral bits glued all over him. My hot glue gun prepped. Oh, that's really cool. Cottage on a skull. Love to see a picture of that. Another thing that just occurred to me is that if I cut this down to a nice slim thing, I could actually work it into the piece from the start. So yeah, I want to take this down to like 1/8 of an inch or something. Let's give that a try. Yeah, I really wanted it easier to twist my camera around to different parts of the shop. Ah, I can't see the link. Boo. I wonder if it would make sense to actually attach these pieces. I think that would make sense. Yeah, you could share the link with me in Discord. That'd be cool. All right. This one now. Okay, so I was thinking I'm gonna do that and then another strip here with just a little bit of an inlay so you get that double strip effect. And then that is gonna leave this little channel in there. And that's an opportunity to add yet another little bit of detail stuff. So I could, let's just, oh, that's weird. Will this be a good thing to put in there? Let's see. not giving a nice clean impression. It's just making little torn chunks. However, once it's all painted and stuff, I kind of feel like it's going to work just fine. If I don't like it, I can just paste over it. Yeah, I'm looking for just the gesture that there's some kind of further carved detail in there. This does the trick. See you, Enderbees. Thanks for hanging out. Wow. Is this blade done or what? Done and stubborn, both. It's tasted blood, it doesn't want to leave. at that. We're about at time, so let's go find someone cool to raid. In the meantime, I shall beg, I shall plead, I shall implore you all who enjoy fantasy adventure novels to please go to Amazon.com and order on Kindle or paperback these delightful novels that I have written and illustrated. Lots of pretty illustrations. I think there's over 70 in each book, and you know, I spent a long time making them, and they're fun and they're nice, and people like them. It's got great reviews on Amazon, so please check them out there. Also, if you just are interested in art and learning about sculpting, terrain building, that kind of stuff, I've got a YouTube channel. Please check that out. Follow me on Instagram. All right, I think that's all the things that I need to try to remember to say. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you, Art Ninja Attack. Thank you.
Really bad about that. Let's finish